Since the Singapore Grand Prix, the final part of the season has been one long and very tiring rush. 5 races in 7 weeks, and now we come to another back-to-back pair. How does one keep the team in shape and focused, both physically and mentally?
Yeah, it's true that the end of the season is pretty tough, but it's also true that we know the calendar since the beginning of the season. So, as for a football team, we try to plan our training in terms of many aspects. The mental one with mind room, the medical one with Vedex, and so at the end improving the culture of everybody. So what we eat, what do we do during the day, forcing the sleep during the night, and improving the light during the day. There is a proper program to try to keep the best shape possible, and in terms of motivation, I think that when you work in Ferrari, the motivation is part of your blood.
From a logistical point of view, how is the movement of people and equipment managed?
Yeah, it's the movement is pretty impressive in terms of kilos. In terms of people, we move around 100 people, considering the Clienti team, so Sauber and Toro Rosso engine, gearbox people. For example, we coming back from the last race with most of the equipment going to US, but still there is some equipment and come back to Maranello for overruling some parts, bodywork changes, and there are some parts that will come from Maranello to Texas. So it's always an ongoing process that obviously involves logistics and involves also the way that the guys are working, because at the end of a very tough race weekend, actually I would say a week, because normally the first guys that build up the garage start on Monday, the previous Monday before the race. On Sunday night after the race, after they did the job on the pit stop, they have to pack up everything. So it's you need to keep the attention very high, because that is the easier moment where you can get hurt also.
As someone who spends your days with the drivers and the team, how important as a morale booster would it be to secure the 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship?
It is important. It is a very good motivation, and is not I will say the biggest motivation, because obviously we cannot hide that with the start of the season we were hoping for a different result, a different outcome at the end of the season. But we are at the moment P3 in the constructor, P2 in the drivers one. That I think they are, and I think that even the P2 in the constructor is something that we can achieve. I think that because now we are P3, it's an additional motivation. Everybody, as I said, in Ferrari has a sort of DNA where you don't need an extra motivation. The motivation is being part of the Red Crew. So, by the way, having another, say, target is something more that we push for. And when we have a target, we don't give up. And we want to show to all of our fans that we never give up.
You experienced Formula 1 in Indianapolis, and last year you were at the first race held in Austin. What similarities and differences did you spot between the two venues, and what is the atmosphere like at the Grand Prix in the USA?
To be honest, I was missing the race in US. I still remember the first time we raced in Indy was 2000, and because the culture they have and the way they live the event and the proper show, it was even difficult or almost impossible to hear the noise of the engine at the start. So imagine how much crowd and how much enthusiasm there was there at the time. Technically speaking, obviously the circuit of the Americas is something much better for a Formula 1 car. It's much more than a Formula 1 car, and I think that the culture they have in US is something different from us. Well, it's something different from Europe and something different from other parts of the world. Formula 1 in the last years possibly was more TV related rather than having a personal, proper touch with the fans, and that is something that in US they do a lot because NASCAR and Champ Car are really open in terms of paddock, in terms of touching the car and the drivers. And I like this kind of culture, to be honest. I respect that we need to do a lot of TV, but I like to have the contact with the people and the fans, because it brings the Formula One back to the people. And I hope we continue and having eventually even another race in US.